A lot to talk about in the Western Pacific today, and each one of these areas could demand their own video update, but I'm going to try to give you as much information as possible here in a relatively short period of time, since I know a lot of you just want to get that information quick and know what's going to be going on. And first off, we're looking at the broader satellite picture. 1, 2, 3, 4 areas we are watching out here in the Western Pacific. Of course, number 1 being Typhoon Mars. Then we have another area, low pressure area, which, be quite honest, is going to be our next named tropical storm here in the Philippine Sea. It is looking organized, a little less organized just towards the south and east of Guam, but still a potential for development. And then this area, which has already a look of a tropical storm. Just one after another. So let's get into this and talk about these storm systems, because boy, there is plenty to talk about in the Western Pacific. So first off, let's take a look at our satellite picture here. And of course, Typhoon Yinxing, also known as Mars, just off the west coast of Luzon, improving conditions. Luzon kind of sandwiched in between both of these storms right now. This one's pulling away. Of course, our second one still has that look. I mean, at this time, that's a tropical depression, to be quite honest with you. And it is going to be named here real soon as it tracks off towards the west, likely landfall into northern Luzon as we go ahead into Monday afternoon. But really by Monday morning, already going to start to see winds pick up and increasing rainfall for Luzon. And we actually can walk through here with our next tropical system. Here you go. This is by Monday morning. Already got the heavy rainfall across the Cagayan Valley, places like Casiguran. I wouldn't rule out, even at this time, we have a typhoon making landfall, to be quite honest. Sea surface temperatures are very warm here still. The good news, it's going to hit the Sierra Madre Mountains, I suppose, but, you know, those coastal communities still going to get whacked. And even despite hitting the mountains, we're still going to be looking at a lot of rainfall Monday evening, overnight, into Tuesday morning along the Cagayan River, which is already running high due to, you know, back-to-back-to-back storm systems now. And then, of course, Region 1 by Tuesday morning will be getting it. And then our storm system will start to move on out with vastly improving conditions by Tuesday night, heading into Wednesday. But I do think some areas here, you know, over 300 millimeters again. Before all is said and done, you can see here those rain totals. And my worry is, yes, these all hitting into the mountains, not only into the low-lying areas along the Cagayan Valley, but all this rain has got to go somewhere. It doesn't stay up in the mountains. It's going to run downstream. Those rising water levels already in the river basin could be adding to it. And then you see right there, last frame. Let's go back. Look at this, just on the right side of the screen by Thursday and the Friday. That's our next storm system. Going back to the satellite picture, that could be developing back here further towards the east. So let's take a look at the broader picture. So here we go. We got Mars moving off towards Hainan. Still potentially is a strong typhoon. And like I said, that demands its own video. This next storm demands its own video due to the threat of this becoming a typhoon prior to landfall. Just around Isabela, the Aurora, maybe Cagayan area. Tracks across Luzon on Monday with heavy rains. And then we get another storm potentially developing on the heels of that. Oof. Really, Luzon, especially central and northern Luzon, needs to be ready for back-to-back typhoons. I know a lot of you still are without power. You're still damaged from the last storm. And then this one's going to come in, and then maybe another one behind. It's scary. Not trying to hype it. I'll be quite honest with you. I'm worried because there are these places that are still recovering, and this graphic really shows you everywhere kind of colored here shows tropical storm strength winds. You got some of these areas here, especially in northern Cagayan, where they're kind of not cut off completely, but the power and communications are down. And then there's another tropical storm coming. So if you got any friends or family in there, make sure they know what's up. They know what's coming. And if you're watching from that area, please let me know in the comment box down below what you're doing to make sure your neighbors know what's up. Because, yeah, I've never seen this setup before, where we've had back-to-back-to-back straight runner typhoons. It's a bit scary, to be honest with you. Not each individual typhoon once again, but it's the repetitiveness, basically like a boxer knocking somebody down. They get back up, they get knocked down again. By that third or fourth knockdown, the opponent, being the Philippines in this scenario, is having a bad day. That's what I worry about here. It's not the individual storms, because we can deal with that, but there's just limited time to recover before the next one comes around. So make sure your friends and families know what's going on. I'm not an official source by any means, but I want to make sure, you guys are getting that information from those official sources, and just to make sure, yeah, you're ready for that potential of a serious threat here with these storm systems. It's gonna be a rough couple of days. Like I said, I've never specifically seen this type of setup before here in the Western Pacific. I've seen the strong storms, of course, naturally, but never just these back-to-back storms like you're seeing right here with this training effect. And and like I mentioned, there's still people without power for these areas further towards the north. But at least at this time, the good news, and I was just talking about this with Yolanda being the 11-year anniversary back in 2011 or 2012. Yeah, 2013, my gosh. With Yolanda, PAGASA had a bad reputation. And one of the reasons was because they ignored storms outside of the Philippine area of responsibility. Thankfully, that has changed. And I actually visited PAGASA a week after Yolanda. And, there was a lot of younger people in there who really wanted to make that change happen. They were, it looks like that has come. They're talking about these low pressure areas well out of the Philippine area of responsibility. So as much as I see people, I love you guys that give hate to the Philippines. I don't love the fact that you give hate. I love you guys for commenting on here and trusting me. But give some love to PAGASA, because they are evolving and they are doing a fantastic job, in my humble opinion. And this graphic right here is a clear example of that. Them notifying about that potential of a developing storm outside of the Philippine area of responsibility. And that is something they did not do in years past. So shout out to them. This is actually the official forecast from the Japan Meteorological Agency, because they do have it as a tropical depression with this initial storm system, with that landfall likely around Casiguran, as a possible typhoon. By the way, it will be called Nika once it enters the PAR. But yeah, I just want to give some extra shout out to those guys, and make sure you guys do your part as your neighbors and everything. Let the people know that 1, 2, 3, 4 storms. We got 3 more potentially in our forecast here, and the guidance is really showing it's going to be a messy upcoming week. So as always, thanks for watching. Number one thing, of course, please, friends, stay safe out there and be ready for Monday. We're already going to be looking at a landfalling, possible strong tropical storm, maybe even a typhoon. Stay safe out there, friends.